where he was going to play. I didn't care how fast he was. I didn't care how. I just knew his body type, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do, and he learned a lot. And I see a fullback potential in the future. I didn't see this till the last game when I called him off the field because we had 12 on the field, and he came off the field in a full sprint, and I stuck my arm out to slow him down, and he almost ripped me to my back. So when he dogs it in sprints next year, I'll know that he's dogging me. But Nick Patton, come on up.
All right, Nick.
Sorry if I'm going a little slow. I'm trying to stall for my last coach. This kid, great kid, same thing, came on the field, didn't complain, knew his role. He dogged me at times, he dogged all of us. He took his time, breezed through everything. But when you see him on the field in his pads, in weigh-in, other kids would say the same thing. He's not old, or he's too old for this team. He's too big for this team. And when he came down to it, he did his job. Markel. This young man right here is a boy of few words, but I think he thinks a lot, so before he speaks, he's thought out what he has to say, and it usually makes a lot of sense, so you have to take your time and listen to him. Great kid. If you guys came out to our second win in LA against the Demos, we started off the game with a monster sack. And Tucker, come on up. I kind of want to keep this guy to the end because I want to see how many questions he's asked me before I call him up. But I'm not. I'm going to give it to him now. You guys know him. He doesn't need an introduction. There's a few boys that don't. But this guy threw his team on his back and did what he had to do. Come on, Smooth.
All right, Mayo.
This guy right here could have played down with the junior peewees. A little big. Parents didn't want him to cut too much weight. He doesn't really have it to lose because he's a tall kid, tough kid. Came up, fit right in the system, and he didn't really have a choice because we had 19 kids on our team. So it was either fit in or get out. And he jumped right in there, did his thing, both sides of the ball. Just an awesome kid. Big J, come on up. This guy got from the neighborhood. When I found out when I started the team, I only had about 8 kids on my team, just like some of the smaller teams. We didn't even think we were going to get off the ground. This kid came out. He's a good athlete. Played a little flag football with him at the park one day, and he had what we needed on the team. Never said a peep. Played wide receiver. I think we maybe threw the ball to him 4 times, but had wide receiver downfield blocks, putting kids into the bench. Couldn't ask for anything more. Austin Williams.
All right, Austin.
This kid right here came to the team a little late. He was gone to a track meet, I believe. Came out the season a little late. Didn't know me from anybody, but I stuck to him like glue. Because if I could be as old as I am, if I could grow up anymore to be like this kid, I would. Jaden Woodby.
All right, Jaden.
Yeah, that's a kid that, like Gary said, he made a lot of promises. There's a few kids up here, but that's one kid I would put every dime I've ever made, which isn't much. I would put it on him 100%. And it's not just a football field. It's the pre-game, post-game, school, the younger kids, how he talks to them, how the older kids, how he talks to them, how he talks to an adult. But that's a stud right there. Next kid we have up also came up. He could have stayed down. but I had an older brother. His parents were comfortable with me, and I was comfortable with him. Kind of had to fill a squad, but you know what? This kid stepped up, and I think he learned a lot from that championship game, watching him play as much as he did. Put in a lot of hard work. Second practice in pads, wouldn't look at me, wouldn't look at anybody else. But if his mom got him there on time, he was the first one with his helmet on, ready to warm up, ready to go. Get up here, Frankie. All right, here's another young man that was a pleasure to have on the field. Same thing, started a little late. This is one of the kids. If it wasn't for his dad, he'd be a great kid. But it's usually falls on the parents. But no, his dad's a good guy. This kid's a great kid. First day of practice. I know we've had him before. We've tried to, try out a center, and okay, on to the next one. Okay, try another center on the next one. This kid had like 35 shotgun snaps at 4 yards, 35 of them in a row, perfect, and never touched a football on an organized football field in his life. So, yeah, he's had games where he snapped it 6 yards over the head of the quarterback, which that's the quarterback's fault for not being taller. But you know what? This kid did work, and if you guys saw him once he started rolling, anybody out there that plays center or plays center now, one bad snap a game isn't too bad. This kid, I think, went through 5, 6, 7 games with not a bad snap, and got us off to a great start. That's where it starts, at that position. Come up here, Mike. All right. This next kid right here I've had for a few years. Last year he stayed down, didn't get to play on the team that I was coaching or my son was on. But I think his dad likes to think of him as the little Brian Urlacher. He's a Bears fan for some reason. But if you see him moving side to side, he does all right. But if they run up the gut, they're going to feel it. Andrew Spurbeck. And if you can make a request from Scott, can we get Andrew a helmet that fits him? Or at least teach him how to put it on. All right. This kid right here was, I think, an inspiration to myself and my brother as well. Actually found him at, I don't want to really say found, but I recruited him at my daughter's dance studio. And the only reason I recruited him is because he was lifting props into a trailer that weighed more than all of us in this room. It was ridiculous, but it's fun sometimes. Anyway, this kid was out there with the adults, the dads, helping load props, doing his thing. And I just noticed him out of the blue and asked him his age, and he fit right in. And wasn't sure if he was going to play football. Parents weren't sure if he was going to play football or where he was going to play. If you guys think you drive far, talk to them, because I think they have the farthest commute. And this kid never played a down of organized football aside from the flag. And we call him the maniac because when he looks into your eyes, it's kind of scary. But this kid earned his spot, and he did work at that left guard and was happy with it. And all he wanted to do was do his job he was told to do it at 100%. Casey McDonald. All right, I'm going to take a break in the players real quick because the man of the hour showed up. You guys heard me call him, just like I said, every other coach. He has a AKA, and it's the coach with the braids. So that's how we know him. Coach Darryl Hoover, offensive coordinator. He's got my vote for offensive coordinator of the year. Don't worry, he did that to me in the games too. Alright, this young man right here, seen him play at the Panthers. He was a machine when he played with Coach Lewis, and we had our rough times with him, and he had our rough times with us. I don't think he trusted us at times, but when he started trusting us and we started trusting him, if anybody saw the championship game, every play that looked like it was going to be a touchdown for them, a big home run play, This kid came out of the blue to make a tackle, special teams, defensively. The kid was a stud. He moved from wide receiver, tight end. I think there was a game where we had to give some rest to some running backs, and he jumped in at running back without even practicing. But moved from wide receiver to tight end, corner, safety, was all over the field, special teams, making tackles, just coming out of nowhere in the championship game. The championship game that we won 60-6, I think. Anyway, Kobe Gilreath, come on up. This young man right here, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. I think we're cutting short on time, but I can't take anything away from this kid. Came on the field. I don't even know if he played football before, but it looked like he did, because when he came out and I saw his body type, and he knew right where to go. As soon as I told him you're playing right tackle, that's where he went. And when he was upset with somebody on the other side of the ball, believe me, they felt it. Because we ran off his tail, I think 85% of the time, and he got us where we needed to be. Jeremiah Worship. Up next, we got a kid that we had a. You guys all know we had a pretty stunning backfield when we figured it out. When we went back to running the ball like we did, but we had Manuel in the backfield, we had Jaden Woodby in the backfield, and they did their thing in a whole different way. But this kid had to have gotten yards after contact. At least half of his yards were after first contact, and he punished defenders over and over again. And if they didn't know it, he let them know it. So, John, Calvin Hooper, come on up. Alright, this one's going to be hard for me because he was my own son. He's the last one up. He hasn't been feeling good this week, so he's kind of down. But it's always hard to play on a team, I think, with your dad as a head coach. Because when he doesn't say anything to you, it's because you're doing okay. But when you do something wrong, I usually fly off the handle pretty good because I expect more out of him. And I think he did a good job. You know, he played quarterback, and I try to tell people when they ask, you're a head coach, yeah, well, what position does your son play? It's kind of hard to say he plays quarterback, because then they get that look, oh, we're not coming to that team. But you know what? He knows his role. I don't think we passed the ball very much this year. When we did, the receiver usually made a great play on the ball. But you know what? He knows his role on offense, and that's to get the ball into the hands of the playmakers. And I think he's a great leader, good kid, really good looking. Yeah.
All right, Dad.
And I'm just really proud of him, and proud to have him on the team, and I appreciate all the hard work he puts in. Yeah. Just so you guys know, I think after game 3, nobody gave us a shot in the dark to do what we did. And these boys right here, they stuck together as a team, and they were all glued together 100%. And they went down in that championship. So the coaches, if you guys saw our game when we won at the last second, that was an amazing game, and that coach thought that he got cheated out of something. But when we put up 60 points on him, he didn't have a clue what to do. And some of our staff that was on the visiting side of the ball came at halftime and said that the coaches were telling each other, I don't know what to do. I think we should just quit. So you boys shut down the championship team, because that team won the championship last year. You guys shut them down.
I could have swore he said he didn't talk as much as me.